This project is a classic example of some great partners coming together to collaboratively work to restore riparian and fish habitat conditions. We were really interested with the BLM. We don't have a significant amount of Bonneville cutthroat trout populations within us. We have about 50 to 60 miles total of Bonneville cutthroat trout habitat. And so there was a really good opportunity to expand that and to connect some of that in Rich County.
Well, really what we're striving to do here is connect as much habitat as possible and varied habitats as well. So what we had previous to removing these culverts and replacing them with fish passable structures and diversions was kind of a chopped up system. We had 3 or 4 miles of good habitat and then a barrier, and then 3 or 4 miles of habitat and then another barrier. The principle of what we're looking at here is these narrow pinch points where flow is constricted and water velocities get quite high are really troublesome for fish to move back up through. So we're broadening those out, putting in structures that allow fish to get through the site while still maintaining the site needs of the irrigators and landowners. Once we've implemented all of these sites, 12 sites in total, we'll reconnect about 13 miles of stream habitat in 2 branches so that if we have a fire event or some type of a flood event that occurs in one of those branches, you've still got fish in the other drainage to reseed that population. So really what we're creating is a larger piece of robust habitat. From a fish standpoint, that's a good thing. We've got a lot of partners on this project, and the funding that we're using today is coming from several federal sources. We've got funding from the BLM, from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and state money coming from the Utah Division of Wildlife Resources, and that's through their Habitat Council and Blue Ribbon Council programs. Additionally, there's some private match that's coming to the work from Trout Unlimited and from landowners that are on site. Trout Unlimited also gets funding for this work through the National Fish and Wildlife Foundation.
You know, you think about a lot of this work and you think you're just going to go out on the land and fix things, but it's not about going out on the land and fixing things. It's about working with people to make and developing relationships and rapport so that things can not only be fixed, but they can be taken care of in the future as well. And I think that's the true value of what we're starting here with this project and what we hope to follow throughout the watershed and see well into the future for future generations and for all the people who love these lands and want to utilize them.
You know, folks here are independent landowners, and they really take care of things on their own for the most part. So you need to show that you're somebody that can be trusted to bring in and redo their irrigation diversions. We're touching their water here, and that's about as fundamental as it gets. On a personal level, I do really enjoy fly fishing. Cutthroats are great dry fly eaters, if you will. So first fish I ever caught on a fly rod was a Bonneville cutthroat trout not far from the site. So yeah, I've got that connection. It's kind of a passion that I've had for my whole life, and being from the area and having grown up with Bonneville cutthroats, that's a species that I really care a lot for.
And I really want to see future generations have that opportunity. I think this project is a good example of that. It is a mix of both private and federal lands where people will be able to come and utilize this resource and get out on the ground, and kids will be able to go fishing and have a tie to the water, to the land. And I think if we're going to restore these lands and we're going to maintain them over time and protect them, you're going to have a connection with our future generations to maintain that. And it's historically been in the people that live in this valley. They have a connection to this land, and I think we need to make sure that we provide that and make that tie for future generations. And I really look forward to seeing my children come up on streams like this and go fishing with me.